All right, here we go. YouTube video number one. Um, yeah, and I'm kind of forcing myself to get to it. I'm kind of forcing myself to make this video because, I told myself that I wanted to capture my experience in real time, and I'm making it happen. And if I don't do it, tomorrow's Monday and the start of week two, and I can't let this moment escape me, because I know I have to be accountable to myself, and so I'm doing this, and it feels really strange to be talking to a camera, and I pray to God that I could do this, and I hope this becomes more natural as we go along. And so, how I'm sort of picturing this is I'm gonna take a sip. Okay, so sort of how I'm sort of picturing all of this is gonna go down is like I have no idea. Wow, I have stage fright in front of a camera. I'm not doing this for YouTube. I'm doing this, or for anything. I'm doing this for me. I want to record my experience, and I want to stay accountable to and stay true to who I am and sort of my beliefs. And I think this is one way to do that. Hey everyone, my name's Awe, and I am a first-year master's student at Stanford University studying civil engineering, but specifically sustainable design and construction, but specifically sustainable urban systems. So I'm focusing on sustainable urban systems. And this is a bunch of fancy talk for I just want to make cities better. And the reason I'm making this video is because I want you all to come on this journey with me as I learn to turn this passion I have for sort of creating equity, or helping the world become more equitable, or then increasing access to opportunity, as I take this passion for that and make it happen and turn it into a real career. I want my career to be all about improving people's lives. I want to do my part in society to improve people's lives. I have friends who are going to med school and they're going to become great doctors and do all that stuff, and people study public health and are taking a more holistic approaches and are doing all these really great ways, and people are becoming lawyers, and they're going to represent people, and that's really awesome, but I don't know what I want to become, there. And I talk about this in my TED talk a little bit, and slight plug for that, you should go listen to my TED talk. I don't want to become anything. I just want to improve access to opportunity, and I want to do that through infrastructure. I think that infrastructural systems, when poorly planned, poorly managed over the years, it has a severe consequence, on people's livelihood, and I mean, it's really the root of everything, we interact with infrastructure every day of our lives, whether we wake up in a home, if you're blessed to be in a home, or fortunate enough to be in a home, you have a bed, someone designed that bed, someone designed the house that you're living in, the apartment that you're living in, the heating systems that make it comfortable in the wintertime, and the cooling systems in the summertime. You go to your bathroom and you have water that runs so you can take a shower, you take a poop and you flush and the water goes. That's all infrastructure. You leave to go to work, or to go to school, and you jump in, you take a school bus and the bus goes on road. The roads were designed, every now and then maybe there's a huge pothole or whatever and it bumps. That's designed, the potholes have to be there because there are ways down into the sewer systems which are carrying the water, the wastewater and everything. The roads were designed. If you're going to work, you get in your car. Someone designed the car, and you get in the road. You drive on the road to get to work, or maybe you take a bus or take the metro. The metro had to be designed. Someone had to design the tunnels for the metro to go under and to go through. Someone had to design your system for you to pay for your ticket, and for you to. Someone decided how much your ticket's gonna cost, and if you can buy maybe monthly packs or daily packs or whatever, and you get on the metro and it's comfortable and it's not too hot, it's comfortable, but maybe it's gross, like someone has to clean it. It doesn't just magically get cleaned every day. Like someone has to come and clean it, and someone has to manage the people who do that. And so we really interact. So yeah, you get to your office building or wherever you work, and like again, air conditioning, water systems, the buildings themselves, the elevators in the buildings, like all these things, and like bigger projects like transportation, like like that can be big. And like maybe you're fortunate enough for, like, for example, like last summer I worked in DC, and I got to my commute was, it took an hour and 45 minutes to get to work every morning, but it was probably the easiest commute ever. Like I literally get out of my apartment building, I walk 10 steps to take a bus from my building to the train station, get at the train station right as the train is about to leave. I get on the train, I sit on the train for about an hour, get off the train at the next train station in DC, and like walk right to the metro. Like as soon as I get there, the metro gets there, and like I take the first of the red line, then I transfer to the green line, and then I walk another 10 steps and I'm in my office. Like very little walking, like it's super easy. Like it can be super hot, it can be rainy, like that really didn't bother me because transportation worked in my favor, But imagine if like I lived in Baltimore and I wanted to work in DC, but I have to walk 20 minutes to the nearest bus stop every morning, and then if I don't make it there in time, like I have to wait an hour before the next train comes, and once I get there, then I have to like wait for the metro, or like if I miss that metro, and like me catching that metro depends on if like the bus gets there in time or like the train gets there in time, like that's the reality for a lot of people. And like we have to plan our infrastructure to serve people. We can't just have infrastructure that doesn't go anywhere, because then it doesn't bother. Then it's just sitting there, but people don't benefit from it. Rather, our infrastructure has to be designed to help you. The point, what I'm really trying to get at here, is that we interact with infrastructure every day. It's really like this foundation for our lives. No, that's a civil pun, no pun intended. But it's like really the foundation for our lives, and for us to like be able to start our livelihood. Because I was able to get to work, I was able to have my job, like my internship, and I was able to like gain that experience and make money. And like because I was able to gain that experience, I was able to add that on my resume and grow personally. And that helped me get into grad school. It's gonna help me get a job one day, because look, I've had this experience, and all of that, this experience I was able to have was really because of the infrastructure put in place. So I hope I've sort of conveyed that like infrastructure is important to our lives. And I can talk a little bit more about the damaging effects of poorly planned infrastructure, and everything that sort of goes into it. There's systematic racism, and like it's all planned. I'll at some point I'll talk about the red line that was planned in Maryland, in Baltimore, Maryland, and how Governor Hogan canceled that. I hope my head's not being cut off. Okay. And how Governor Hogan canceled that in 2015, and like its damaging effects, and how, again, like infrastructure pretty much dictates our lives. So I have this passion, and I want to improve infrastructure and infrastructural systems like transportation, for example. I want to improve these systems to help underserved communities, minority communities, communities that have historically been overlooked when it comes to like planning these these systems, and not just overlooked, but like maybe purposefully like designed against. I want to improve infrastructure, and not just like, oh, change this one project. Like I really like let me pull up my statement of purpose for Stanford, and hopefully if I can read this, you will get a pretty good sense of what I mean. Let's see. Luckily, like these days, you can literally just press one button, type 2 words, and then you can find whatever you want. I'm gonna like read like the first paragraph-ish of my statement of purpose for Stanford University. I said, my journey in civil engineering began as a senior in high school, when the field was defined for me as the engineering discipline for society. Since then, I have intentionally spent my time in Baltimore, witnessing the damaging power of inadequate and unreliable infrastructural systems, and how grassroots organizations circumvent these barriers to empower people. These issues arose from both inaccurately addressing societal needs and lack proper implementation to serve their respective communities. I believe that while infrastructure has the power to develop communities, it can also break them. As a result, I am interested in learning more about designing sustainable infrastructural systems that truly put society's needs on the forefront. There's currently a disconnect between the issues people face and the actions taken to address them. And as a result, I want to radically revolutionize urban systems by developing and implementing some true user-facing, people-facing solutions using a community-focused lens to tackle the most pressing societal challenges. That's what I want to do, and I want to make it happen. And I'm in this program. I'm gonna learn the logistics of infrastructural development and how to what happens in projects, what happens in the environmental side of things. How do we get money for projects? Maybe I'm just naive and it's just too expensive to do all these things. But the truth is the money's sitting there, and there's money and we choose how we want to spend it. Governors, politicians, they choose how we want to spend it. We choose them, we put them in office, but yet there's stuff like voter suppression that prevents people from going there, or I don't know, there's so much, everything's really interconnected. I want to learn my place in the world, and I want to make these videos as I'm learning them throughout my master's program. And once I leave this program, I want to go out into the workforce, or not even the workforce. I hate saying that. That feels so I want to make these videos throughout my master's program and show you all what I'm learning about what goes into designing a city, the different aspects of a city, and take that information and wherever I end up after my master's program, I want to show you all this is the world we live in, because ultimately I want people to care about the world that they live in and not just have to live in it because it's there. I think I said it I want to learn how to engage with community members, and wait, where is it? Where are you? Yeah, that's really what I want to do in this master's program. I want to learn, my career is I want to improve infrastructure and infrastructure systems so that people have better access to opportunity, and infrastructure doesn't have to act as a barrier to socio-economic mobility. I want systems in our cities here in America or wherever to be so good that people don't have to think about them, except when we're designing it, of course. You shouldn't have to think about oh man, am I gonna catch the next bus? And if I miss it, I have to wait an hour, or I'm not gonna get home till late, or if I miss it, I'm gonna be an hour late to school or whatever. I want people to be able to move freely within their cities and between cities without any worry. And I want people to trust that their water is safe, that lead isn't in their walls in their apartments, homes, and ultimately people should care about their environment. People should care about where they live, and they should be actively engaged in what projects happen. I hope this sounds interesting to you all, and I hope you all are thinking about your own interests, or how you interact with your own the infrastructure around you. Do you just live in it passively, or do you actually, I don't know, do you just live in it passively? What's your interaction with cities? Do you think about what happens when you flush the toilet, and what are the environmental impacts of that? And if you have these positive, if you have these benefits, are there any downsides to this? So I want to learn this. I want you all to come on this journey, and I was really inspired by Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez as she became this politician. And it's not just politics always just feels like a brick wall, that we elect them and then they go and they make decisions and we have to deal with the consequences. But I mean, there's C-SPAN where you can go and watch hearings and all that stuff, but that's kind of boring, and I don't want to spend my time doing that. I don't know if that's a good reason or not, but I mean, go put on C-SPAN and try watching it yourself. But Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez, AOC, she literally like shows what she's doing, like how she prepares for a hearing, like the lines of like how she prepares line of questioning, and like the visuals that she uses, and like and she explains everything. She's like, oh, here's this bill, here's how we're gonna get it to pass, here's like our attempt. We need to get these people on board, and like all of the stuff that goes into it, and it makes politics approachable, And likewise, I think that a lot of like professional fields, like we need to make them more approachable so that kids and like young people are inspired to go into these fields and not boggled down by like the stress of the real world. So these are some of the ideas. I want to share my story with everyone and show you all about what it means to like live in a city and to care for your environment, to like know why trash is being picked up once a week on this day, and like for you to care about your garbage men, the sanitation engineers. Like you should care about them, because like if that were to stop, like the trash is gonna pile up. You're gonna complain. It's gonna get smelly. Rats are gonna come out, and it just rabbit hole. Someone has to design all of that, and like I think we should care. And I want you all to come along with this journey. If I say that one more time, I'm gonna like literally, But for me, like doing all of this, I took a pretty drastic, I don't know if it's a drastic step or whatever. Like I said, my family is from Baltimore County. Like we live in Baltimore County. I went to college in Baltimore City at Johns Hopkins. And I've been close to home for my whole life. And this is really the first time that I'm stepping away from home, because I don't know. This is the first time I've ever been away from home, and it's been a really big change. Yeah, it's been a big change. I'm here in California. There's a huge time difference. Like I'm really close with my family. Like during undergrad, like we call almost every day, like whether my sister's at school, or like whether my sister's at school or my mom or dad are working, like we talk very frequently. And now like there's a time difference like we have to like get used to, and I'm here spending a lot of money. Like everything costs money, and like I knew that like growing, like I knew that in undergrad, but like if I really ever needed anything, I just call my mom and she'd bring it to me, like, oh, like I'm running low on laundry, like on Tide Pods or something. Like it's not even like I'm trying to get her to bring it, but like I'll just, oh yeah, I have to like go buy some, and then she'll be like, oh yeah, no worries, I'll bring some. I'm like, okay, cool, like I don't have to buy it. But like they can get really expensive really quickly, and like literally everything in my apartment, I'll show you all a little bit around my apartment, costs money. And like I don't know, I don't have a lot of money, like look, I don't have any money. And on top of all this, there's a pandemic happening, and like it's really challenging to make friends. I mean, it's not like it's really challenging, it's just different. And it takes more intention, and I can make another video about what it's like to move somewhere. I mean, I guess this is what most of this video is like, sort of about. What it's like to move somewhere in the middle of a pandemic, and what it's like to try and make friends. You just have to be more intentional, not just have to be more. I make it sound so simple, but it's not. I don't know. You have to be more intentional, and it's the way life is. And I have a lot of people in my life who I want to stay connected with, but I also need to focus on my schooling, and like I don't know, trying to find this balance. I guess this is what adulthood is like, and yeah, I want you all to come along this journey with me as I figure this out. And God willing, we'll have fun along the way. I hope the sound is good. I hope my lighting is good. I worked, y'all, YouTubers. This is hard, man. Like, this is a lot. But yeah, let's see how this goes. Thank you all for making it through this video. I don't know what to say. This feels strange. But when I get into it, like I really get into it. I have a lot of really good ideas for things like I want to talk about. Let me see if I can pull up my list real quick. I have a lot of really cool ideas that, I think they'd be cool. And let's see. I want to talk about like how I'm learning to improve cities, like an infrastructure. Maybe I can go through my class schedule, because I'm taking some really awesome classes, and like I'm really excited. So maybe if I'm excited, y'all be excited. So maybe I can make a video on that. I could give semi-regular updates on the classes that I'm taking and like what I'm learning in them. And I don't know if that sounds interesting, but like I think that sounds interesting because my classes are very project based, and I'm basically gonna be doing like real projects. And so like we'll see how that goes. I don't know. We'll see. We'll see. There's a lot out there. There's a lot I can do. There's a lot of design podcasts and books, and I want to share everything with you. I want to share with y'all how to be productive, or at least I try to be productive. I want to share that with you all, and like sort of like the apps that I use and all that stuff. Anyway, I'm rambling. Thank you all for tuning in and for spending your time. I don't know how long this video is really gonna be, but I appreciate you spending your time listening to me ramble and like share these ideas. Thank you for coming along this journey with me. I hope you like and subscribe and hit all the stuff. But really, like, I'm really thankful, and like interact with me. Like, hit me up, message me on Instagram or Twitter or like in the comments. Like, I want to make my journey as open and accessible to everyone, and hopefully like inspire someone to like care about like whatever they're passionate about, and yeah, let's go change the world. I know that sounds kind of cheesy, but like the world's really there's so much out there, but we should do that. Like we can do that. And so yeah, I'm gonna end this right now. Okay, I'll see you all later. Peace.